On. Let's get in Dr. Narayan to give his perspective on what he thinks about these stocks, probably from a short-term to a medium-term point of view. Dr. Narayan, firstly on Ispat and then on Wipro.
Ispat looks, I think, rather favorably set on the charts. You know, it's been sort of hogging the news for a while, and to its credit, it has not really managed or really given back whatever it had managed to gain from the lows somewhere around 15-16 levels to the highs around 25-26 levels. So I think you know, the inability of the bears to push the stock down needs to be looked at as a kind of success from the side of the bulls. So I would remain positively biased in it. The steel set is not doing too badly. So I think within that space, with the support of the news, I would be long in Ispat. And what was the second stock you asked me?
Wipro.
Wipro, okay. All the if you take the leader stocks among the IT pack, I think Wipro has not been doing as well as maybe let's say TCS or HCL Tech or maybe even some bit of Infosys. So I think I would lay off Wipro a bit for the moment. It's actually moving down a bit, and I would lay off Wipro, and if I'm actually interested in the IT sector as either a play for trading or play for a short-term investment, I would rather stick with TCS and not, or maybe even look at an HCL Tech, but not Wipro for the moment.
Alright, TCS and HCL Tech are better bets than a Wipro, but going long in Ispat is Dr. Narayan saying that probably it's well placed at its support levels, and now an upside on the back of the news that's been coming out can be expected on Ispat Industries. Away from those two stocks, and let's focus on some of the banking counters that are now turning favorable among market analysts after the recent bout of underperformance. Does it actually mean that the concerns are already in the stock price, or there is more pain likely to come? And Ritu Jundal gets us more details and several brokerage views that now believe that one should actually start
their top picks once again, a Bank of Baroda, Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, as well as a PNB this time.
Alright, Ritu, thanks very much for that. So most of the brokerages looking positively at some of these banking counters, particularly PSU stocks are high risk, high return bets for them, and an upside in the entire banking lot to be seen at almost 14% in best case scenario. Dr. Narayan, quick word from you on some of these banking majors. You know, firstly on the frontline banking counters, if you have any favorite off the lot, and then would you look at PSUs as well?
I think banks move as a pack. You know, it's the favorite sector play right now, and any market move either up or down has to have banks as a participatory sector for the moment. Even if you look at the let's say recent rise, it has been led by the banks, and most of the other sectors have actually fallen in line with it. So there is very little to pick and choose between the banks from a technical standpoint, because as I said, they all move as a pack, and therefore if you have momentum going in all the stocks, then they would all move up. But from a longer term, or let's say a medium term investment perspective, I would say pick the banks which have not shed so much of their gains, and within that space I would probably rank HDFC Bank, let's say ING Vysya Bank, maybe City Union Bank, or IndusInd Bank, a Bank of Baroda. I think pretty much you know, a mix of let's say private sector and the public sector banks. It's not so clearly divided a line as it used to be in the past, where either public sector used to do well or private sector used to do well. I think we have reached a stage when we need to pick and choose within the banks, and I would say stick with those that have not shed their gains, because clearly those that have not shed their gains are the ones which people are willing to retain in their portfolio. And I think I would use a logic such as that to go long in you know, some of the names that I have shared with you right now.
Alright, so using a different logic there, pick up banking counters that have not lost too much of ground in the current downfall. Dr. Narayan did point out a few names that you can look at, and HDFC Bank being one of them, and ING Vysya, Bank of Baroda, City Union Bank. So you can pick and choose from the various options that you have from the banking space, but do look at them from a different light, which is the ones that have actually not corrected, which according to Dr. Narayan are the ones that are keepers and people are not ready to part with them. The Union Bank in the session is down about 2.5%. Next stock that you should probably pull up on your screens is in Allied Digital and get that counter going. If the stock is doing well for itself in the session on the back of news regarding buyback of shares. It's locked up on upper circuit at about 5% to buy back about 20 lakh shares and a price point of about 140 rupees, which is at a significant premium to the current market price as well. Let's get in more exceptions,
but going ahead, it would get much better. So this is a breath of fresh air, like a positive news really coming in for Allied Digital.
Alright, a breath of fresh air would be the most required there after being beaten down 50% on a YTD basis. Thanks very much for that, Smith. That's the news of buyback and a significant premium to instill confidence among shareholders. Dr. Narayan, have you tracked this one on the charts in Allied Digital?
Yes, I do, and it's interesting to see that through all this news which had flown on this particular stock over the last, let's see, maybe a week or two, and the very extensive selling that it also witnessed, the prices could actually drop down to the level of about 70, which was the low seen in the March 09 levels when it had made that absolute bottom. So we have a double bottom of sorts here, and there is therefore an expectation that the prices could rally up. So in line with that, there's news about buyback or like for that matter any other news, it is in line with what should happen, that from a bottom you should actually, somewhere when you are near a bottom, that is where you start actually getting some good news, or the market stops responding to bad news. I think we are seeing some good news flow which is moving in, but then the fall has been so severe that there really would be a lot of trap buyers at higher levels. So the pace of advance initially may be quick, you may see an upside circuit or two, but I think as it reaches higher, the pace will slow down quite considerably. It is one of those, let's say, wannabe larger caps with about 450 crores kind of market cap. Of course, market cap has got wiped out quite a bit in the recent time, but with an earnings in the region of about 50-60 rupees per share and things not looking too bad, I think there will be value hunters for this stock at about 70, 80, 90 levels. I don't think there's far too much to lose. So I think every bit for the immediate future is something that I would look to add this share if I'm holding it from earlier.
Alright, so Allied Digital probably at a level of 80, and every decline in Allied Digital is something that Dr. Narayan would buy in. To watch it for this counter, it's locked up on upper circuit. We'll come back, take a short break.